Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon sitting here working on the van, and some things came to my attention, actually all at once from three different people. I figured out the key reason why I had to get banned from the Z06 owners group is because I was spreading certain information that General Motors did not want spread yet. And this is official information. And Conti accidentally spread it. He just put out a video explaining that he accidentally spread it. I didn't realize it, but I was one of the first people to reshare his video across the groups on Facebook. Not even Conti reshared the video. I reshared the video because it's useful information. I give credit where credit's due. I'm not one of these stuck-up people. And by the way, Conti's most recent video, he invites all the YouTubers who can quote-unquote drive. He doesn't invite me, which is fine. I take that as a compliment because he knows I'd smoke his ass. So anyway, Conti's a good. He's fast at the what do you call it? Autocross. He's fast at that. Like I give credit where credit's due. Conti, if I can give you any good advice, make sure you invite Justin because he'll come in last. Justin, horsepower obsessed. He drives worse than most people's grandmas. If people understood how slow Justin at horsepower obsessed is, they would not watch his channel. Like the guy has a fucking learning disability when it comes to driving. But anyway, and I'm not just saying that, like the guy is not good at driving. So anyway, make sure you invite him. That'll really step you up, Conti, if you invite Justin, because Justin will cancel. There's no way he'll fucking come. But anyway, okay, back to why I got banned from the group. So I made in the video I put up yesterday, I mentioned the thing about how I put up a post and how it got censored, and all it said was 2026s are on the ground in May or June or whatever month it is. And that video was, it was Conti's video. I put up Conti's video, and Conti and all the GM dealers received this information, but it was titled GM Confidential. Well, according to Conti in his video that he uploaded today about this autocross event where he wants to get all the YouTubers who know how to drive, which is going to be interesting. That's a whole other topic, because if people can use all different cars, I don't think he realizes what he's getting into there, but neither here nor there. Okay, so Conti put up this video and he says, hey, when someone shared the information with him about the 2026 cars being on the ground in May or June or whenever it is, then basically that person that shared it with him didn't share the part that said GM Confidential. So somebody set Conti up, in my opinion. And it's so that they can take away Coughlin's allocations, because Conti is not liked within GM. So he got set up. I inadvertently got set up because I reshared the video. And what happens is when I put up my videos, I put up a video on the Vet Titans group first. And just for simplicity's sake, I reshared the video to the Vet Titans. I put it up on the Vet Titans profile, then I reshared it to the Vet Titans group, then I reshared it to the Vet Titans page, then I reshared it to a couple of the Z06 groups and call it a day. Okay. It was a useful information video. It's Conti telling when the 2025 model year ends and when the 2026 production begins, which is very soon. And when I posted that video in Clayton Smith's group, either instantly or almost instantly, it was rejected. And the title of the video originally was somewhat long. Okay? And I couldn't figure out what was wrong with the words that I wrote, so I kept shrinking it down, because Clayton Smith's group automatically rejects it if you put in like a bad word or whatever. And he tries to censor my stuff, like the word IQ. Since I use that a lot, he censored the word IQ, so I couldn't use the word IQ anymore, or else my posts didn't post, okay? So IQ is a bad word in Clayton Smith's group. But what I was going to say is, this one particular post, it wouldn't post. And I didn't think anything of it at first. I'm just like, man, what's the bad word in there? Like, what's it mad about? Like, if you put in anything about like t-shirt or anything like that, it automatically bans it because they don't want the t-shirt advertisements. So I'm just sitting there like, what is wrong with this post? So I kept minimizing it and minimizing it and minimizing it. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just post it fresh into his group. and see if that works. Well, when I did that, it still didn't work. What they did was, guys, they took the link to Conti's video, and this proves the conspiracy that Clayton works with General Motors. He says he doesn't, but this absolutely fucking proves it. Because otherwise, Clayton Smith would have had no incentive to censor this video. He was instructed to censor the video from General Motors. It's very simple, guys. Because it's the video that General Motors then ordered Conti to pull down, which he's since pulled down. So the proof is in the pudding. I have the video up. I watched the video. I commented on what the video says. I went to post that particular video in Clayton Smith's group the day after Wendy Miller was mad about me posting the other videos, okay? So now they're like watching me like a hawk, and Clayton Smith said he didn't do anything wrong, I'm not taking it down. So then I post up this next video. It wouldn't post, so I took a screenshot of it, and I explained this yesterday. So you know I'm not making it up. Like, this is fact, because I said it yesterday before I even understood the full story. So I took a screenshot of the video, because when you have a Facebook group and something gets censored, like a post gets denied, you as the poster can go in and edit it. So you get a notification up on the top on Facebook. It says your post has been rejected. It's been removed. So you go in, you can say edit the post. So I go in there, and I couldn't figure out why, no matter what I didn't fix it. It's because they censored the link. They censored Conti's video address link. Okay, that's a big deal. So they censored some of the words in the post, like on the ground, which I do believe Clayton censored that, but he censored it on purpose because they saw that I posted it from my group over to the other group, and it said 2026 is on the ground in May or June or whatever it is. And so they censored on the ground, but they also censored that link. So then when I posted that link just straight, it still didn't post. And so that's when I took a screenshot and put it up in the group, and I'm like, what's wrong with this? And Clayton comes through and specified very proudly, on the ground. Like, if I was Clayton Smith, if I'm anybody, I'd be ashamed to brag, oh, you said on the ground, therefore that can't be posted. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's because he didn't want to admit that they'd censored the web address to Conti's video, because they knew I would report that. They knew that I would say that they're censoring information. So the timeline on this all is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when these videos are being posted, and then by Friday is when that Wendy Miller lady really came after me hard, and I retaliated. She's calling me names. I called her names that weren't that bad compared to what she was calling me. And I wasn't calling her empty names. I was saying, you know, it's dumb if General Motors does this, because then if you guys ever end up in the courtroom, it's very easy for the opposing party to prove that you guys have intent and don't take this stuff seriously. Just FYI. I have no desire to sue GM about this topic, because I think it'll generally bankrupt General Motors. I think that it's like a do or die situation, where if you expose the real conspiracy of what's going on, and I believe this, I've made videos about this, okay? So Justin, who attacked my other channel, I believe that he's a puppet as well for General Motors, and he does what they tell him to do to earn brownie points. I've believed for a long time that General Motors will go bankrupt if I expose what I've figured out, because it affects all their cars. It affects them all. And it'll be like Volkswagen Diesel 2.0, except it'll be across the whole General Motors lineup, okay? So my whole argument this whole time has been, just give us a mechanical diff so that you can prey on all the other dipshits who want the E-diff. And as far as the engine and the detonation's concerned, I can kind of live with that as well, because I can kind of figure out how to get around it. It's you know, if I really want to, I know how to avoid the warranty and get around it, even though you can't tune the Z06. I've figured out ways to get around it. But the point is, this thing that they're intentionally sabotaging their cars, setting their cars up to be vulnerable so that the engines and transmissions go bad at a certain pace. So meaning, like, let's say you have a sample size of 1,000 cars, maybe only 30 cars need new engines and transmissions, but it should be that none of them do. Okay, it should be that the engines and transmissions are bulletproof. General Motors has invented magic tricks to where they can basically turn a dial and they can over-the-air update select cars to determine exactly what they want to have happen to select cars. And I think I told you guys this, that my EDIF on my C7 Z06 glitching time after time after time when I get new EDIFs and new transmissions was a red flag to me. I'm like, they're messing with my car. I'm like the guinea pig to see if their programs work, where they're like, we hate this guy, let's screw with this car. The rest is history. The car ends up getting stolen from the dealership that was trying to fix it. And then, you know, it's just, it's a big fiasco. But the point is, what was I going to say? They recovered the car. I got paid out from the insurance company because the car got totaled, but neither here nor there. Back to this thing about the Conti video. So there's only a couple options here, guys. One option is they go ahead and say the ZR1 is a 2025, and then they say that the Grand Sport is the 2026, but Grand Sports are going to show up first, okay? Because Grand Sports are going to be ready, whereas the ZR1 is not ready yet. That's option one. Like, it's not mechanically ready yet, guys. Like, the EDIF program, it's not right yet. I'm not going to get into it. But the point is this. Option two, there's a few options here. Option two is the car that you all think is the ZR1 is indeed one of the Grand Sports. And there's two different Grand Sports. There's the naturally aspirated LT2 or LT2 replacement Grand Sport. And there's the... so that would be the 6.2 with two little helpers. That's 6.2 with ram air, and maybe they go to new valve, dual injectors, or who knows. There's a lot of different things they can do, but they can make the engine a little bit more efficient. Okay, for the LT2, so it's like the model refresh. And there's a lot of rumors swirling around that the 2026s are going to be a model year refresh. Well, the model year refresh, okay, for the mid-cycle refresh is the proper word. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling my words here. Everybody keeps saying it's the interior and it's the wall of buttons. I've been telling you guys all along, I think it's the exterior of the car, and I wouldn't be surprised if those side vents are on all the Corvettes, the Z06, the Stingrays, the Grand Sports. The new vents could be on all the Corvettes, and they could put ram air on them all. E-rays, they could put them on them all. So you know that you got the newer body, and it makes people say, shit, I need to get the newer one, otherwise it looks like I'm in the old one. General Motors would keep that secret because it would cause their 2025 sales to plummet and cause people to back out of orders on 2025s if they knew that the 2026 was going to be a completely different looking car, aka this ZR1 looking body. So now you can start to understand why General Motors would lie. And again, this is just an option. I'm not saying this is absolutely true, but you can understand with this option why General Motors would lie and say this is the ZR1 instead of say it's the Grand Sport, because if they tell you up front it's the Grand Sport, you might get to thinking, I wonder if they're going to do those vents on the Z06 too. So could they have two different Grand Sport engines, the big turbo engine, and call it like the Grand Sport 1064 or something like that, or the Grand Sport SS? Sure. And then you say, well, what's the ZR1 going to be then? I think I told you guys, I think that the ZR1 has potential. It could have the turbo motor in a different body, so the LT7 that you know about in a different body. That's fine. That's one option in my mind. Another option, which I've explained several times, is I think it could be a very high revving, naturally aspirated engine with the necessary fuel system to rev past 9,000 RPM and just make more power, okay? Because Lamborghini has engines now, guys, that rev to 10.5, okay? So it's not unheard of to rev that high, and General Motors worked with Cosworth. Cosworth helps out Lamborghini and Ferrari and all these guys make their engines. And so it's just a given to me that General Motors knows they could probably rev to 10 $1,500 as well, as long as they put in the proper fuel system. Okay, that's the key, because you got to get a lot of fuel in a little window of time, because the higher the RPMs, the shorter the piece of pie of time that you have to get the fuel into the chamber. Okay, so with all that said, I'm trying to think here. They knew that by me putting that video up and then me finding out that that video was being taken down, which I didn't realize it yet. 3 people hit me up this morning. 3 people hit me up. Hey man, I know why they banned you from the group. I know it too. I called the lady dumb for doing X, Y, and Z. No. That's not why they banned you. Clayton Smith was given orders from General Motors to censor that video. So he did. He doesn't want to appear to be a puppet for GM, because, and then that Wendy lady, she also says, oh, I've only communicated with Clayton Smith like a year ago about something else, and we don't communicate. I find it all too coincidental that that video got censored on the same series of days that this Wendy Smith is attacking me on my other posts, trying to get me banned from the group, even though she says she's not trying to get me banned. Then why are you calling me names when you know that I can't call you names back? So it's the same game that they played on Corvette forum. They kept calling me names, and then when I would retaliate, because see, here's the thing, guys. If I say, hey, Clayton, they called me names, then Clayton comes out and says, oh, Brandon's complaining that you guys are calling him names, and that's like the pot calling the kettle black, because everybody knows that I have no problem if people call me names and I call them names right back. It's a fair ball game, right? So what they're doing is they're holding me to a double standard, and this is where the lawsuits are going to happen eventually, because it's all bullshit. But in the meantime, we've got to prove some stuff now. See, what General Motors has done is they backed me into a corner where now, instead of me having mercy on the thing that can bankrupt their company, I've got to go for blood. I've got to prove, because what they've done is they've made it a trade-off where my credibility has been attacked since I wanted to just talk about this stuff. I wasn't suing them about it. I was just talking about it. But now, since they have made it where they're making me out to be a fool, where I'm not even allowed to talk about it, and by talking about it means I need to be banned from groups, okay? Because that's what's going on. These problems with the cars, that's why they want me banned. And by the way, guys, all of Chet's groups, I'm not allowed to post in. All these other groups, I'm not allowed to post in. The group where I was originally the admin on the C8 World group, Chet became one of the head guys of that, and he wanted to keep it secret, but he's the reason why I got banned from that group. And, you know, Chet doesn't want to come right out and tell me what happened. I knew what happened and whatever. I've still been friendly with Chet since, because I was like, whatever, you know, I'll just make Clayton Smith's group grow. So basically what's happening is Chet is getting jealous that the truth is posted in Clayton Smith's group. And all Clayton Smith would have had to do is, instead of be pressured by GM and paint me to be an idiot, if he would have just endorsed me, and I explained this to Clayton, I said, if you would just endorse me that I actually know more than all these other people, you would have the Rockstar group. You got to stop pretending I don't know what I'm talking about. So this Grand Sport thing is going to be like this 2026 refresh is going to be like the big shabam. It's going to prove once and for all, shit, Brandon knows what he's talking about. And anyway, there was a third option. I forget what it is. I don't want to get into it. Yeah, this video is long enough. But I think that the ZR1 is going to potentially have a completely different motor yet. And the Grand Sport just has 2 variants, the turbo car and the naturally aspirated car. And the other option, of course, is Grand Sport is just, you know, the LT2-ish engine or whatever its replacement is. And then the turbo motor was still being tested for the ZR1, and that turbo motor goes into a different body, a better car for the ZR1, okay? So when they tell you that they're making 2026 CTF cars for the ZR1, those could be 2026 Grand Sport, or excuse me, 2026 experimental VIN cars. Those could be 2026 Grand Sports that are experimental VINs still. Those could be 2026 ZR1s, which are yet to be revealed. Anyway, it's going to get interesting. Do I think that General Motors reveals that car is the Grand Sport at Barrett-Jackson. Now that I'm realizing what's going on with, there's a high likelihood that the 2026s get a different body. And I don't know. So Barrett-Jackson might still not be the time. It might still go on to something else, and they might put on a fake show one last time because they know that Rick Hendrick's going to outbid everybody. And it's not hard to have Rick Hendrick support the quote-unquote conspiracy, because that's what it is when you lie on purpose with a group of people. So it's going to get interesting, but there's something big coming. And if you're in line to get a 2025 here, one of the last 2025s, my channel's always been about truth. I don't have any obligation to General Motors. Conti posted the video. I'm simply repeating what Conti said, that the memo said. I'm allowed to say that. I think that the 2025s are going to be dogs. I think that the 2026s, there's big changes coming, guys. So if you got a late 2025 arriving, you might want to hold your horses on signing that paperwork. And that's what General Motors doesn't want everybody to know. That's the big secret. So that's why they had to ban me. That's why they had to censor Conti's video. That's why they had to ban me before I figured out, well, why isn't this video posting if the words on the ground are the problem? See, Clayton Smith knew he was toast. It was only a matter of hours before I sit there and say, okay, well, when I repost the video, Clayton, with just the link, it doesn't post. But what they did was they ended up getting Conti to pull the video down. However, you can still take the link to the video, post it in Clayton's group, and it doesn't post. That's a big deal. That's a real big deal. See ya.